When Emma asked me to be one of the people on the stage giving the speech, I was intimidated to say the least. I've never been a part of FFA, and I'm certainly not great with words, but I'm going to do my best at describing mine and Emma's beautiful friendship. At third grade orientation, I remember seeing this pale little girl sitting next to the side, and without a second thought, I asked her if she wanted to be friends. And since that moment, she has been by my side. Emma is part of the reason that I am who I am today. She encourages me to always be the best me, and as my parents like to say, she's my moral compass. I'm so insanely proud of how far she has come, and so grateful that I get to be a part of that journey. The world is her oyster, and anything she puts her mind to, she can do. I'm so excited to see where this journey takes her.
Some of my best memories with Emma happen when we are just driving around, listening to music, talking, and then the instances where she yells at me about my road rage. In the 7 years I've known Emma, she has never failed to brighten a room and make everyone around her smile just with her presence. It has been tough this year not being able to see her as often because of our busy schedules, but I have watched her thrive during her time in office, leading and inspiring all the FFA members she has met along her journey. She has gotten the experience of a lifetime this past year, and I can honestly say that she is a sunshine that I am privileged to have in my life. Not everyone can find their sunshine, but lucky for me, I found Emma.
Y'all bear with me, I might start crying. The day that I met Emma, I knew that you were born to do amazing things. The way that you have impacted me, but also the Florida agriculture as a whole, is truly inspiring. If you haven't had a chance to meet Emma yet, I'll try to paint a picture for you. I'm not the best. She has long brown hair, Bridgerton lover, and loves coffee. She actually drove 5 hours to my college, Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, to just go to the rodeo and get coffee with me. I'm so internally grateful for the person, or for Emma, that I have met. I cannot wait to share a teaching department with you in the future. Thank you for being Florida FFA's Diamond of the Season.
As cliche as it sounds, being around Emma is like a breath of fresh air. She is the brightest light and the truest friend. Her laugh is contagious, and even though we can never have a conversation that doesn't go in 50 different directions, I know that she will listen to everything I have to say with open ears solely because that's the kind of person she is, caring and considerate. When I first met her in my first ever officer interviews, I specifically remember Emma asking me if I was scared, and I replied that I was terrified. She told me that that's okay, because as long as you have the right people around you to support you, you'll do amazing things. She has been that person for me since that moment. There is no one in this world who makes me feel more seen, known, and loved. She is my soul sister, my olive, and my gift from God. I am thankful for her every day, and I truly could not live this life without her. It makes my heart swell knowing that Florida FFA that we have been able to share you with Florida FFA, because we can attest that the impact you have made on these members' lives is one that will remain for ages to come because of your loving, selfless, and genuine heart. Sorry, I'm a very ugly crier. Emma, the world is your garden, and I cannot wait to see where you will plant your roots and grow your beautiful garden of life. Florida FFA, we are beyond grateful to introduce
our best friend
and your Area 4 State Vice President, Emma Self, with her retiring address called
Your Garden.
Your feet are planted in the soil, the sun is pouring over your face, and the smell of fresh flowers consumes you. You look down, and you're standing in the middle of your garden. Green thumb or not, imagine this garden in your mind and close your eyes with me. Think of all of the vibrant colors and fragrant scents surrounding you. Then, a disease strikes one flower and rapidly takes over the rest. Petals begin to fall and leaves begin to wither. Suddenly, there is no flower garden at all. Open your eyes. Take a second to think of the closest people in your life. It turns out that this garden is an accurate picture of how we prioritize the principle of community. God immerses us amongst others to transform how we live. Have you ever started using the same phrase as someone you've been around a lot? Or acquired a better sense of humor because you've been around some pretty hilarious people? This is called social proximity. In the same way, a flower can be helped by beneficial plants and insects or harmed by pestilence and invasive weeds. The destiny of a flower lies in what neighbors it. If I were a flower, I would choose to be planted next to a lily, mostly just because one of the best people I know is named Lily. Now, Lily is not a childhood best friend or an old wise mentor. Lily is the 6-year-old girl I babysit. When we first met, she was 1.5 and I was 14. Over time, she had a baby brother, she got older, and I began to watch her more often. At 3 years old, this little girl was becoming my bestie. She was asking me to swim with her, build forts with her, and paint her nails. Although the age gap was obvious and there was no familial relation, our connection was strong. This was the season of life God planted a seed in me. I had yearned for a deeper sense of belonging awakened by a simple babysitting gig. What I didn't know is that there were seeds planted all around me, but I had not yet opened my eyes. I'm sure we've all had a moment of feeling completely lost. For me, this was stepping into the orange double doors at the entrance of Bartow Middle School for the first time. I didn't even want to go because I didn't know anyone. But this was reality, and I was alone. Having no friends, despite the 800 students at the school, was a scary feeling. Regardless, I walked in anyway. I ended up meeting new people, and it was awesome, except that I placed my entire identity in them. I made friends, and they made me. If they didn't like the color pink, I didn't like the color pink. If they wanted to cheat on the test, I wanted to cheat on the test. And it only got worse from here. At this point in time, I was someone I hope I never become again. In desperation to find purpose, I let negative influences in my life transform me into someone I only thought I wanted to be. I didn't know I could embrace my own style or say that I love to read. I didn't know that God was calling me to something so much better than the confinement of someone else's choices. Don't let this be you. I let this carry on for 4 years until the new youth leader at my church, Patrick, asked me to come to youth group. I tell him, no. Whatever the excuse is, I'm busy, I won't fit in. The answer is no. Until one day, I have no excuse. So I go. During girls group, I notice friends have a lot to do with who you are becoming. So I ask the leader how to change the direction I'm headed. She replies, talk to my daughter, Annabelle. As I head downstairs to leave, Annabelle asks if we can go get coffee. I am ecstatic to hear that the coolest girl in church wants to spend time with me. On our coffee date, she tells me that she is going through the same thing I am, that she is struggling to find positive influences, and it's in that moment I realized I had been waiting my whole life for a conversation like this one, a conversation free of gossip and full of biblical truth. This is what I was made for, what you are made for, Christ-centered community. The next week, I attended youth group, and the next, until it became a source of friendship and mentorship I was starved of for so long without even knowing. These people turned my heart into a heart after Jesus as if God had done it himself, because he did. Through Patrick, through Annabelle, and through so many others, as they modeled how to live and allowed me to be myself. I learned what it was like to truly be Emma, because they wanted an Emma there. A foreign concept to my formerly insecure mind. For so long, I had been someone I was not in order to prove myself when I never needed proving in the first place. Since the day I stepped into that church and decided to plant new flowers, I have never been the same. So I urge you to consider who you are today and who you want to become, because the right community is what bridges that gap. You see, ever since that shift, sophomore year of high school, I have always believed in genuine friendship, but I've experienced it in a different way this year. The past 355 days have become a time of reflection for me. I often think about how I almost didn't even run for state office, how those supporting me are the only reason I made it this far, and how God continues to bless me using the people I love. No force of nature, no coincidence, no screening committee could give me the teammates, the members, and the advisors that I would choose in any universe to be the flowers in my garden. I knew this was the case during the 2024 State Leadership Summit in March. Early that week, it all sank in that this was our last conference. Usually, facilitation is my forte. I thrive when given the mic and a chance to hang out with FFA members. But this time, I was a ball of nerves. I was carrying the pressure of what felt like my very last chance to make an impact. I had 1 hour and 15 minutes to reach at least one student, and my team had 48 hours to make this conference the best one yet. How would we do it? The second night of our weekend together, we begin to give reflections. The music is playing, the lights are down, and the audience of SLS attendees is among us. The prompt of our reflections is how we can make the world a better place. I stand there listening to all of the ways my team is going to make an impact on the agriculture industry and the world when I realize they already have. And although we've practiced these speeches so many times before, it feels like I can barely breathe. I'm overwhelmed by the gratitude that I get to work alongside some of the sweetest, most dedicated people in the state. I'm overwhelmed by the gratitude that I get to serve Florida FFA and be your friends. That night, as members filled a poster with ways they will make the world a better place, I found the answer to my question, how would we do it? It was simple. I just needed to look around. It was those 6 people who made me feel like anything was possible. It was then that I look back on my years in middle and high school. I think about all of the times that I begged God to feel like this, to have even a glimpse of joy and belonging. Knowing these people is beyond my wildest dreams. They're honest, encouraging, funny, kind, and always down to eat. I mean, like, they never deny food. If you were to tackle a task that felt nearly impossible, who would you want to do it with? Who would you want to do it with? Do these people challenge you to be better? Do they make you excited to do the hard things? Do they make you laugh until you cry? In other words, acknowledge who the influences in your life are. Matthew 12:33 says, either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree bad and its fruit bad, for the tree is known by its fruit. If you were known by those you spend your time with, who does that make you? You are who you surround yourself with. You are who you surround yourself with. So purposefully place yourself around the people who inspire you. There are 2 ways you can move forward from today. You can choose to plant new lilies in your garden, or you can choose to foster the lilies you currently have. Let me tell you about someone excellent at doing both. In February, I was assigned to go to the Fertilizer Institute event with a few of my teammates. While in Orlando, we met up with two of the national officers, Emily Gossett and Morgan Anderson. While in Orlando, we talked all night over dinner and instantly connected. However, the shock to me was what happened the next day. As we arrived to the conference, we stand around chatting, coffee in hand. Morgan turns around to receive a refill from hotel staff. When I look over, she is in full conversation with this man. Hotel staff, industry professionals from across the globe, fill the room, and Morgan chooses to learn more about the gentleman serving her coffee. We head into the main room for breakfast, and she tells us his name, his hometown, and how she just wanted to meet him. For no personal gain, just simply an opportunity to meet someone new, she chose to make that connection. Not only did she initiate the dialogue between them, but she's fostered the relationship between us since then that sparked within less than 24 hours. She is the kind of flower I want to keep in my garden. There are two words that describe Morgan in the short time I spent with her: fearless and generous. On this side of heaven, one of the most important things you can do is pour into the people who pour into you. By letting go of the fear of being judged or disliked, you give yourself permission to create bonds that will last forever. Whether it's joining a club, making friends, going to youth group, or hanging with the hotel staff, don't be afraid to make friends. By being generous, you sacrifice energy otherwise spent on personal endeavors to have intimate conversations and enjoy time with the people who mean the most to you. Join me in stepping back into your garden. If it is not properly cared for, the flowers do not survive. Take that knowledge and evaluate who you are letting affect the person God created you to be. If it's time to prune some leaves, that's okay. George Washington said, "It is better to be alone than in bad company." If you are alone and it feels like no one can see you, I do. If you're alone and it feels like nobody is there for you, know that Jesus Christ is there for you today, just like he was when he died on the cross for you and for me. This is your time to fearlessly reach out to everyone you meet, just like Morgan did. And if your friends do love and care for you, and if they push you to be better, then intentionally cultivate those relationships just as a gardener would their best flowers. That's what Lily has done for me. On her 6th birthday, Lily was given the money to shop anywhere she wanted. As she stands there telling me what she got, she pulls out 2 friendship bracelets. She could have picked anything she desired. She could have gotten her kindergarten friends anything they wanted, but she bought us friendship bracelets. She felt our friendship with her babysitter was so important that we needed a token to keep on our wrists every day. She tells me, "Emma, you are my best friend." She may be small, but she loves big, and I think we should all find a friend who does. To all of my people who have loved me big, thank you. I've got some good flowers in my garden. In the midst of the crazy this world will bring, your friends, family, and mentors are who will or will not support you, so choose carefully. There's opportunity to enhance all aspects of life when you find who God has for you. God made us unique so that we would need each other. He made people like Patrick, Annabelle, and Morgan, teammates like Kaylee, Jenna, McKinley, Hunter, Mackenzie, and Spencer. He made 6-year-old girls who started as a weekend pastime and ended up changing my entire perspective on friendship. The choice of who is in your garden is up to you. So Florida FFA, fill your garden with lilies.
This is where the cream is gonna rise. This is what you really didn't know. This is where the truth don't lie. You find out who your friends are. Somebody's gonna drop everything, run out and crank up their car. Hit the gas, get there fast, never stop to think what's in it for me. Or it's way too far. They just show on up with their big old heart. You find out who
Emma, you are the heart of our team, always bringing laughter, chatter, and kindness to every single situation. With your jokes and stories, you keep us smiling through even the toughest of tasks that we are faced with. While we may refer to you as the mom of our team, it's because you truthfully care for all of our thoughts and feelings and are always willing to listen. You are more than a teammate, you are a true friend to us all. Emma, we can definitely say, if you've been able to handle us all year long, you're gonna make a pretty awesome ag teacher when you grow up. They say that a sweet friendship refreshes the soul. While we started as 7, we end as 1. Some may call this chapter our end, but let today mark where a lifetime of friendship begins. Love Mackenzie, Kaylee, Hunter, Jenna, McKinley, and Spencer. Florida FFA, your 2023-2024 Area 4 State Vice President, Ms. Emma Self.
Somebody's gonna drop everything, run out and crank up their car. Hit the gas, get there fast, never stop to think what's in it for me. Or it's way too far. They just show on up with their big old heart. You find out who you. This is what you really didn't know. This is where the truth don't lie. You find out who your friends are. Somebody's gonna drop everything, run out and crank up their car. Hit the gas, get there fast, never stop to think what's in it for me. Or it's way too far. They just show on up with their big old heart. You find out who your friends are. Everybody wants to slap your back, wants to shake your hand when you're up on top of that mountain. But let one of those rocks give way, then you slide back down, look up and see who's around then. This ain't where the road comes to an end. This ain't where the bandwagon stops. This is just one of those times when a lot of folks jump off. You find out who your friends are. Somebody's